Meghan and Harry, could this be possible? They have a new nightmare looming. But what could it be on top of the debacle over the last few days in court? Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the heart of London. Thank you as ever for joining me today. Thank you for all your cold remedies. I've tried quite a few of them. You know what it's like though, you just have to take time. Time and rest, as they often say. But as ever, we haven't time to stop because we have to bring you this big breaking news from our, well, royals, shall we say. Now it's interesting to note, isn't it, with Harry and Meghan, that they push ahead blatantly with what they're doing. We recently saw Harry moaning on about press intrusion and press pirates with press cards. Then we had Meghan with her new version of her truth, having a chat with someone in New York about something regarding the tabloids and how they should come with a sort of tag basically saying they're evil and they're bad. Of course, you know, not evil and bad of when they're promoting her former acting career in some of those B movies or indeed that cable TV series, but bad now because of course she can't control them. It's interesting also to note with Harry and Meghan that they seemingly have no grip of reality, and this has already come down to the fact that a former aide has really, well, skewered things. Now, you may not know this, of course, if you haven't read across every particular thing, but as you know, Meghan and Harry are currently battling it out here in the High Court against a British newspaper, the Daily Mail and Mail Online, over that letter that, of course, she wrote to her father without basically thinking he may give it away to a national newspaper. Perhaps the clue, Meghan, was in the fact that you continue to ignore him, his texts and his messages and his pleas on international television. But who am I to throw clues out, you know? Now, what's interesting now for Meghan and Harry, on a more serious note, is there's a bigger bombshell looming. And we've touched on this before, but now it's becoming even more concrete. But what is it? Well, this is already down to their former communications officer, Jason North. Now, what's interesting about him is that he has revealed in text to the court certain things that of course were basically dismissed previously. Now, the fact that he's gone on record to say this basically shows two things. He really doesn't have an allegiance to the former royal couple, and no doubt he's breaking his NDA. That is a non-disclosure agreement. This is normally signed by people who are looking after high-profile people so that when they do leave, they don't say anything negative about them. Now, what's interesting, as I say, is that if you look towards the end of Mr. North's career within the British royal family, by the end of this year, he will have left as working for the current, of course, Duke and Duchess of Cambridge and their particular royal charity. And apparently he's going to an unknown location internationally. A good source tells me that a book will follow, and as ever, we have to say allegedly. This will be far bigger, let me tell you, than anything Tom Bauer can come up with, or indeed, of course, the authors of that Finding Something, Finding Money, Finding whatever. I can't remember it, you know. But truly, this is going to be a big bombshell. Now, this already centres on the fact that if these publishers do manage to get Mr. North to sign on a deal, it would be a record-breaking deal, far bigger possibly than Prince Harry's. This is because, of course, he will have other information, and he was right at the centre of all of this debacle that's been going on. However, it remains to be seen exactly how Harry and Meghan deal with this latest catastrophe. But looking at previous events, it appears the best thing that they think they can do is simply ignore it and push on with their truth. But as we've told you before here on the show, sometimes the real truth gets in the way of other people's truth. And as I say, for Jason North, if he does decide to sign on that dotted line, which could be very lucrative for him, this could prove devastating for the former royals. When I know more, you'll know more. Neil Sean in the heart of London.